morning from Bali and welcome to Fondy's Travel. Today I'm going to give you a bit of a summary of the 5 weeks we've been in Bali, and I guess some tips in furthering the previous video that we've put up in regards to just general hints and tips across Bali. So firstly, I guess I want to start with the positives. I mean, Bali is an amazing place to visit for Australians in particular. It's close to Sydney, so it's a fantastic location to come to for a really cheap, I guess, and fast getaway compared to many other destinations across the world. So there's many places in Bali that are just absolutely gorgeous, breathtaking. We've been to umpteen number of beach locations around the world, Maldives, Bahamas, Caribbean in general, Fiji, etc. And yet this still compares fairly closely with the white sandy beaches, the beautiful coloured waters. Some of the surf here is amazing, especially even just in Kuta, Legian Beach, let alone if you go up to the northwestern side of Bali. Apparently it's one of the top surfing locations around the world, and it's just a good cheap holiday in many ways. So from accommodation to food, etc. Now you can refer to my previous video on that. I guess some of the things to be aware of, if you've got any mobility or physically impaired anyway, you may find it challenging with some of the pathways and just roads, crossings, getting in our shopping centres or restaurants. I'll put an image down below of a very bad example of a pathway, but you do have to be careful where you walk, because you will find yourself tripping over or spraining an ankle, or it's something worse. So that's something to be considerate of. Something I haven't mentioned in previous videos is the price of sun cream in particular. 200 milligram sun cream, whether it's banana boat, Bali boat, there's a few other variants, can be around 23 plus Australian dollars. So yeah, make sure you've got enough for however long you think you're going to come here for, noting that you will use it regularly. The sun has got a bit of a bite to it. We came here mid-July and it's now mid-August. We have used, we probably would have used a full, whatever it is, 500 grams or 350 grams of sun cream by now. Luckily enough, we had some friends that brought us over some more sun cream, because I just don't want to pay that exorbitant price of sun cream, so be aware of that one. Clothing is always a question that gets asked for any travellers. We are slow travelling, so we do need to potentially carry more clothes than necessary, because we're travelling months and months at a time. But my suggestion is, we've been here now for 5 weeks. I probably haven't needed any more than 3 pairs of shorts, just swimming shorts in general. You don't need really any tailored shorts or jeans, especially not jeans, or anything else. You can either go for a swim in the pool or the beach to give them a general clean. 3-4 pairs of underwear, 2 or 3 singlets. You can buy them from $5 each. You can get hats, you can get whatever you like here. So keep yourself, the idea of packing light is just makes it easy. You can just have a carry-on with a few basics, phone charger. You can buy the PowerPoint plugs over here for $5. So don't worry about going on and buying online and buying plugs and Panadol and Nurofen at like $1.50 a full packet. So go limitedly simple with your backpacking. Guarantee you it'll make it easier to transit in and out of airports, taxis, etc. Less weight, less sweatingness on your back, etc. Definitely a big tip. As I mentioned before, location. So location varies significantly, I guess. Not just for the price of hotels here, the busyness and I guess the amount of hawkers and just street traffic in general can vary significantly. So the northern end of Legian The beaches are busier, the traffic's busier. It's harder to get through traffic and to walk along the boardwalk or the beach walks, etc., especially at the 5 p.m.s or the 10 a.m.s, etc. So that's one thing to consider. But also, I think one of the things that we found acutely aware of is the fireworks. So it seems to be a lot of the resorts and people set fireworks off on the beach various times of the afternoon and night. When we travel, a few fireworks that go off, and again they're very, very loud. Northern Legian, they were going off until 11:30, 12, and even 12:30 at times. So that can be quite startling and it'll wake you up. So if you've got children or whatever else, consider that, or stay further back from the beach. We're currently, due to that, we've moved to more of the southern end of Kuta. Only on a Friday night so far we found that the fireworks go off, and that was only around 9:30, otherwise it's been reasonably quiet, and we're right down near the beach. So that's definitely something to consider. Southern Seminyak, you'll probably get similar fireworks, but as far as I know, as you go a little bit further north, it gets a little bit quieter. So not really experienced in that, but we haven't heard as many fireworks going off on the beach. So it is important, I guess, to not just consider the hustle and bustle. Depends on what you want to try to do. The week that we got away and Ubered, it was great. We stayed on the opposite side of Monkey Forest, so not the main street side, and it was heaven. It was paradise. It was quiet, beautiful tropical resort, and it was such a significant difference from Kuta Legian. You'd wonder why you come and stay in Kuta Legian. It's such a pristine and quiet and beautiful location that when we spent 3 weeks in Legian, a week in Kuta, and came back to Kuta, we were wishing we were back in Ubud. So yeah, consider that. I've mentioned earlier in other videos, it's definitely good to haggle, or at least be aware of prices of things before you make a commitment to buy. It's not a big thing. Haggling's a bit of fun. Always consider it is their livelihood, so you don't just use a 50% rule of thumb. You can try and, some people will be hard and fast and stay at that, or even less. I've heard a lot of people just keep on haggling to the nth degree. Each their own. We have a ballpoint figure of roughly 50%. Then we try and go a little bit more, or at the end of it we haggle and then we just give them an extra, 20,000 cash. Just sort of saying, give them a travel money, and they, like anyone, we'd like to be prepared or cautious, I guess. Bali has got a reputation for Bali belly, or having, belly issues. This is not any form of marketing for anybody, but Traveland is a product that we like to use. We've used various parts throughout the world. Touch wood, never had Bali belly or any other travel sickness to date, which has been very lucky, I guess. Maybe you don't need to have Traveland, and we've just been lucky, but that's a product we generally like to use. As I said earlier, that's probably one of the only real products that we take with us, and sun cream, as I mentioned. Otherwise, in Bali, in Vietnam, in Thailand, in a lot of these other Asian countries, you'll get Panadol, Nurofen, Stop Itch, sun cream, all of these other things generically in the pharmacies. They're not chemists, they're pharmacies. And keep a sleeve of Panadol on you if you like, but don't be worried about that. All different sorts of medicines and applications and after sun lotions and everything you can think of, they're generically and commonly available in just your little Circle K's to your pharmacy. So again, try and travel light, give it a crack, because you'll be surprised on how it makes it easier and to get around, and just packing if you're going from, you might be staying in a hotel for 3 days and you want to do a few hotels rather than staying in the one. It's probably another suggestion. A week in any hotel, especially like Bali, it can get a little bit too much, especially when you've got a lot of different locations in Bali. You've got Kuta, Legian, Seminyak, Canggu, Jimbaran, and then you've got Sanur, and then you've got northeastern Bali and other places like Ubud, etc. There's a lot of different places you can stay. You can get some benefits of buying it a week or 2 weeks at a time and 12 months in advance, but ultimately you get a little bit over some of the general locations you're at, some of the noises, the smells, or just the repetition of seeing those stores or the same people walking up and trying to offer you a voucher or boss, yes, taxi. Where different places, southern Kuta, it's not as bad. Ubud generally doesn't exist. Seminyak and going a little bit further north along the beaches, it's not so aggressive, but between your Legia and the Kuta, it's rather aggressive, I guess, in that, and it does get you after a while, or it sort of doesn't really wear you down, but just be aware of that. So it's good to try different parts. Bali's a reasonably big island, so you know, it's worth trying different things. Bali is you feel safe. Never have we been concerned about walking late at night, in the morning. My wife Connie going by herself. They're very friendly, lovely people. I personally haven't seen any incidences like that. Not to say that there will be potential roads, but it's you see people, kids, everything else just walking around. People going for young ladies going for jogs in the morning, etc. It's certainly not a place I would be concerned about personally. You know, if you've had any comments or you had any incidences, feel free to comment. We got here, like I've mentioned before, at the middle of July, through to now being the 16th of August. The weather has been incredible. The first 2 weeks, week and a half, beautiful, absolutely fantastic weather, and then it rained on and off, showered for a day or two, and then there's been blue skies basically, or you know, morning it might be a bit overcast, but it's been beautiful weather after that, to the point where I'd actually even suggest that August is even better than, for us anyhow, and the luckily perfect weather we've had, than the mid to the end of July. It was more humid. It was probably a little bit hotter in general. When I say that, it's probably the 28 to 29 degrees, where lately it's probably been 27 to 28 degrees, and the humidity's been a lot lower. Today, this morning, around 10 o'clock, the humidity was probably up in the low 90s, but the last few days before that, or week or so before that, the humidity's probably been 70 to 80%, so it's been quite pleasant. And light breeze, just perfect weather. So it is the best time, or suggest to be the best time of the year to come. We've been in October previously, in January. Both of those were very hot, very humid, and uncomfortable. So it's timing like anywhere in the world. You've got to try to pick the right timing and dates to travel. Weather is a fairly important factor. It will mean you get the most out of the tours or events you're doing, or you know, just trying to walk around and see the sights. So certainly suggest August. From our experience, has been definitely the best month for weather for us. As you can see at the moment, it's currently just right on midday, and it's just perfect. Light breeze. So take that in consideration. Otherwise, you know, as per all the other videos, we're only new to this, so we've just started slow traveling. We would really appreciate any feedback, likes, you know, obviously follow us, subscribe. But you know, feedback's important, so please feel free to leave comments, what you like, what you don't like. We would be very happy to receive your feedback. So thank you very much for watching. We've got 1 week to go on Bali. From here we're heading to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. So stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you.